Hi, I'm here to talk about social media and how the effects of advertisement in social media have led our society astray in some ways. I want to start out by just kind of telling you a story about some things that happened to me. One Saturday, I was watching my favorite Mercer Bears take on the Drake Bulldogs, and in that game, it was one of a very damp Saturday, to say the least. And what I thought had I had a rain jacket on, and I thought I was prepared to watch this entire game and stay dry throughout the experience. But little did I know, the rain jacket was not completely working, and my phone had happened to be in my pocket and got substantially wet that day. So, needless to say, my phone was very wet and got some water damage. And I had to put it in a bag of rice to keep it dry over the next 24 hours. And hopefully, I thought that that would work, and it did. But like I said before, I was without a phone for an entire 24-hour period, which I thought would be fairly easy. Not going with a phone, I thought it would be not too hard, but it turned out to be a much more difficult task than I thought ever planned. One of the first things I did when I got my phone back was go on to a mobile website called Instagram, which is a website that will allow you to post pictures of other people and also do things, videos where you can see what other people are doing. And that was one of the first things I did when I got my phone back. Which, sad enough, I was without my phone for 24 hours, and I was a pretty hectic mess that day. I felt like I was out of the loop. I didn't know what was going on, and I was really, really just biting my nails and bad habits and just wishing that I had my phone that day, which is sad because you should be able to go for a longer period of time without a cell phone than I did, and it was just not a good situation. Um, I just fell out of the loop. I couldn't text any of my friends, see what they were doing. I just was kind of on my own that day for most of the entire day. Um, and it really kind of made me open my eyes to the fact that in our society nowadays we use our phones and our technology more than we believe we do, and that can be a huge problem. Um, One thing that a lot of people do that they don't really realize is they use these mobile social media websites to keep up with their friends, and they keep up with things, events that are going on, and they use them to just stay in the loop of everything that goes on nowadays. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much they actually use them. When they have them on their cell phone, it's easy and they're very accessible, and they can use them really quick, and just every once in a while throughout the day use them and check up on people, but that time adds up, and you don't really realize that when all said and done they have gone an entire day using Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or putting vines up, um, and they just really don't understand that even though they're using these and they seem that they're harmless, they're actually getting a lot more advertisement in the media than they think, and this advertisement can be very harmful in ways that you don't even know, because the advertisement that you receive on these kind of websites are typically very short, brief, and to the point, and you don't really think about them more than a second or two, um, which is not good because you don't think about them while they happen, but they really kind of just stick in your mind and your subconscious, and then you think about it, and you've been persuaded to do things that you typically wouldn't, because um, all the things that happen, and they just really just happen in really fast, and you don't think about them. Um, and that's where I think that our society has started to stray. They've really started to become dependent on these social websites for keeping up with people and getting to know other people and finding their ways through different times and troubles and whatnot. Um, and to a certain degree, they are very helpful. And I'm not going to stand here and say that they aren't helpful to me, because they're very helpful. They are very entertaining, and I use them pretty much every day in my life. But I do believe that these mobile websites and these applications and websites on the computer have led us to depend on our technology more than we think. And this is kind of seen in Anderson's novel, The Feed. The feed is inside these people's head, and it's kind of like a cell phone, but it's strictly in their head already. They don't have a portable device that they just continually all day is in their head. And one of the problems that the book faces is all these young people, in our age, around their teenage years are continuously all day getting advertisement in the feed, and the feed knows what they like, and it bases the advertisements off of that. And you can see that in our life. When you go onto the internet, you can see that the advertisements on certain web pages are things that you've browsed before in history. Like, I go on to Vineyard Vines websites, and then I get Vineyard Vines advertisements on other places that I go and visit. And we can see that now more and more that this world that MT Anderson has created in feed is becoming more and more a real life in our day and age. Ultimately, the feed led to the downfall of their society because people became so dependent on their feed that they didn't realize how to live life anymore. And you can see that that people talk to each other through their feed, even though they're sitting right next to each other in the other room, and just the different ways that they basically degenerated in the way they behave and other stuff like that. It's just hard to see, and you can see that in our society nowadays as well. I know the younger generation has grown up now with technologies that we didn't have, or people above us have not had in the past, and these things are affecting them in different ways than they affected us, especially at a young age when you have all these ways of mobile communications and all this. It really forces them to have all these advertisements and everything that we see on a regular basis, and something they shouldn't see that they do on a result of having all these. I believe that with the work and the effort that we can put into it, that we can save ourselves from these and just not rely so much on our technology. But I do believe that the technology will be the downfall of our society if we do not correct the way that we use it. We are too dependent on our technology to get us through our day, and we need to focus on the fact that we don't need it to live our lives. And with all that being said, thank you so much for listening to this, and have a great day.